Do subscribe to Heidi Hosking. I have many videos under many playlists. So today I'm going to talk about a big topic. I have had this book for my way, Jesus, My Autobiography. It's channeled by Louise Spalding. I am going to talk about the similarities with my work, this starting book, The Game of Life, and Jesus' work. Now, in this book, I'm bringing it to light because I feel like there's so many important messages in here for all of you who are getting drawn to the name of Jesus, but also who would like to know what is more of the truth. Having read the Anastasia Ringing Cedar series, she was the first person that I started reading about that said the Bible is completely had massive chunks taken out of Jesus' work. It's had so much twisting and distorting by the men who compiled it at the time that there's only so much of the skerricks of truth there. So reading this may help you, especially if you are wondering, why am I being called to this work? Now, as I started to read this book, I then started to realize, the similarities that I have with Jesus's work and my work with what I call the New Way, and B, also some differences. And I want to go through that because I am feeling like the New Way is, as you will start to see, more of this time. And I'm not saying that lightly because obviously I'm going to talk through both. Both approaches are not wrong. Nothing is wrong. Everything's got its light and its dark. And of course, everyone is going to the same, end point. We're all skinning the cat in different ways. So similarities. First, the biggest similarity from having read this channeled work is that Jesus was all about your inner world creates your outer world. You are projecting what's going on in here out there. And that's exactly what I'm saying with the New Way is your inner universe, your inner state will show up what's, coming up on the outside. So if you're landing in challenges in your day, then it's this stuff in here that needs to get looked at. Not more doing, not more parenting, not more fixing, diagnosing, controlling. So that's one of the bigger keys. And obviously, to change it, you need to shift within. And that's exactly what this book was saying that Jesus is all about. Spiritual, energetic work, not religion of any kind. Now, the next thing that his message is, and it's the same with mine, is it's exponential. The more you dedicate to this inner work, the more you change the outside. So if you're sitting in stagnant circumstances or things that you don't like, then there's a lot of shifting that needs to go on in here to start to get that ball, moving. And then as you dedicate to going within, you by default dedicate and start to connect to your divine self. Now, his work is more talking about connecting to divine beings who are supposedly, filtering this information through. My work has not been about name dropping and which ascended master or who's helping me. It's information that comes down. It doesn't need a name. It's coming down through me, and I am directly connecting back inwards to my divine self. What if I'm tapping back into my divine self that's sitting up there going, here's the treasure chest, I'll help you help yourself. It doesn't really matter. But as you go within and you find this connection to divine self, your true self that so many people are searching for, you also get like what I call the goodie bag, and it's exactly what Jesus is saying. You get more harmony, you get more inner peace, you get that glowing feeling of like, I know who I am, that confidence, etc. What's the big one? As he's saying, ease in life, health, all of that. So that's, more similarities. He's also talked about people being so conditioned that he had to write his messages in certain forms so that people could actually receive it. So he went towards parables. I have had exactly the same thing, and I have gone towards analogies. So hence in my book, The Game of Life, it's mostly analogies that I talk about to relay the energetics of what's going on, so that you can see, okay, yes, this is starting to hit. But of course, there's the parables in Jesus's work. The last similarity that I'm going to talk about is that he maintains in this book, there is no worshipping. I never asked anyone to put me up here. I am the same as you all. And if I can do this and get to this point, then you can too. And, in the book, it basically tells his story of walking all the way to Tibet. the Tibetan monks and all the gurus there that taught him to, train his mind and become a master of that, so that he could then change his physical body in the, changing vibrations, so that he could project himself to be on top of water. He could take himself out of his body when he was being crucified. He could then come back in and, create another body to go and visit Mary, etc., after he had died. Now, I'm exactly the same. I'm saying all of this clarity. If there's anything that you look at me and, there are people, Heidi says, and putting me up on that pedestal, it's like, no, that's distracting you from coming back in here and dedicating yourself to the inner work. Because where I'm at now and the downloads that I'm having and the clarity, the inner peace, the physical health, etc., is because of me doing this work that I talk about. That's it. Anyone can do it. Of course, I come back to soul agreement. We've all said yes to certain degrees on how much we will dedicate ourselves to going within. And so that's obviously the exponential result that we see in different people, even if you are doing this work or Jesus' work, etc. Now, the differences, I have been getting more and more passionate as I've read the book, because it's helping me to download what is the difference and why is my work important, why is the new way of now, and it's not to take away what Jesus's work is either. The big difference is, I'm going to say, thought versus emotion. Jesus's work is more on train your mind to change your thoughts, and your thoughts will then change, changing your thoughts changes your reality. My work is come in here and feel out these emotions. When you have felt out the emotions, the tangible energy that's within, you get clarity. And by default, your external responds to that. So both are not incorrect. It's just coming from a slightly different angle. Now, the angle is the important part that I'm going to talk about. So the emotion, what I see is that I always talk star, heart, earth. The thoughts, meditation, ideas, all that airiness is the star part. So for anyone who's trying to change their thoughts, it's like you are pulling the flower off the top of the weed. Then there's the heart, the emotions, and the earth, the physical body. So the new way work is going deeper to actually feel out the emotions, the heart, so that the physical body, the earth, can then change, because you're pulling these emotions out of the muscles and everywhere that's holding on. We're all tense holding on to our emotion. And as you change your emotional state, your thoughts change, your monkey mind thoughts change. And I'll use the example, a toddler or even yourself, if you have a big cry, you will get up and you will be thinking different thoughts. You will have more clarity. You might have more, oh, it's all okay. Oh, yeah, okay, how ridiculous. A bit more hope. Oh, now I know what was wrong. I know what I need to go and do. The more that you shift these emotions, the more you aren't thinking in those limited thoughts and beliefs, which I say is of the other world. But what I see is there's a lot of people that are trying to change their thoughts. It's almost like Jesus's work filtered right down to such basics of, I'm going to think positively. I'm going to choose gratitude. I'm going to control my thoughts so much that all the energy, the emotions that attach to these thoughts are shoved down. So people are dealing in physical health issues, because the shoved down of the energy eventually physicalizes, including all the current problems with women, down to perimenopause, hormonal issues, back pain, headaches, migraines, anything that you can name. That's the emotion that's being shoved down. And then the big part of my work is that everyone around us is reflecting what's going on inside. So if you're changing your thoughts, and it's not, you're not pulling out the emotions, you're pulling the flower off the top of the weed, and the weed is still through the emotional body and physicalized into the physical body. That's where you get mums who are, I'm grateful and I'm all positive, but her children are going off angry, screaming, crying, shy, depressed, all of that, because they are reflecting, Mum, you haven't pulled the weed out. It's all kind of still there. And that's what we're landing in, is this family work. It's not just inner work. Jesus talks about mastering yourself and connecting yourself to your non-physical. But this work is actually mastering yourself so that we are all interconnected. As I shift myself and really pull this stuff out by the weeds, then my actors, the children, my partner, my friends, the world automatically shifts as a result. Now, it's not to say Jesus, going to the nth degree in, his state, it wasn't shifting people either. So that's why I'm saying there's no right and wrong here. It's just coming into feeling what I'm saying to go, what sits with you? Now, what was I going to say on that? So yeah, the biggest part is as you shift your emotions, you're helping your physical body because it's releasing. But then as you shift your emotions, you're changing your thoughts. And if anyone has done work with me, I'm just turning my phone off. You don't have all the, I'm so bad, all the victim stuff. You're not stewing on stuff. If you're sitting and stewing on something, it's because there's an emotion that wants to be felt through. When you've really felt it out and gotten to the heart of the matter, you don't care less about that topic. It's gone. You've literally pulled the weed out. There's nothing left. So that's the depth of this work. And then that other point of truth, the point of truth of your physical body showing up where it's not actually dealt with. The point of truth that your family and your external world is giving you challenges. There's still stuff in here. And then the point of truth, the other one, is how we're expressing ourselves through our charge in all sorts of chargy ways, holding on, expressing ourselves from our ego. Now, there's heaps more in my book, The Game of Life. There's also more in my course, the New Way course as well. As Jesus did say, he was in help of channeling through A Course in Miracles. So that's another course that you can do to, dive into his work more. Now, interestingly, he said that most of them, the people that were coming to follow his work were men, as it was claimed in the Bible, but also many women. And typically the women came when the men came to him first, and then their women came along as well. And so he was, he's adamant, it's for everyone. And it's the same thing for my work, is that it started with the women, and as women have worked with me, and they've talked to their partners, then I'm starting to work with the men. And so it's almost doing it backwards. The men first for Jesus, the women first for me. So there's this kind of yin yang that I see going on, and that's beautiful in itself. Now, one of the big things is that my work is really asking people, do you remember this? Do you sense the resonance in this, in yourself? So when women and men have watched my videos on my YouTube channel, they're like, oh, you're putting words to what I felt like I already knew, or, oh, this is just amazing, I'm sucked in. That's you activating your own divine self to go, yes, there's something in this. That's all I need to know. Tell me more. Whereas what I see is, I'm thinking of a few things here, is that a lot of people, in the external world, or the sheep, need social proofing. So I am not here saying my book sold 2 million copies, because I guarantee if I did, more people would jump on board just because, well, it must be good if she sold that much. I'm also not saying, oh, I'm doing podcasts on Brene Brown's, podcast or whatever, because guarantee more people would come and listen to me, that social proofing needing stuff. So my work has made me stay humble, and I can see it's doing that because it's asking everyone to just check in and remember it yourself. You're not doing it because of XYZ person or the popularity, etc. Now, obviously, this book already people are like, oh, let me read it because it's got Jesus's name on it. And so what I had a snigger at, a bit of a giggle actually, is that a beautiful friend, a psychic friend many years ago, when I first started bringing through these messages, she said, oh, you are channeling Mary Magdalene. And so since I've been, looking at this book about Jesus, again, I can see the yin and yang. It's about the feminine. It's about coming in. It's about feeling vulnerable, but finding the power in emotions, finding the get up and go in ourselves when we go to that place. Whereas the channeling that's, coming into this book is still got that, what I call new age spiritual energy of, emotions are low vibe. You are weak if you are going there. And then also coming down to the physical body. So just thinking, am I skipping over too many points here? Yeah, Jesus's work supposedly was very much about use the mind to connect inward to your non-physical, the starry kind of thing. Your body is of no consequence then. So it's a bit of disregard. And that's the difference in my work, which I was just saying before, is no, our physical body is showing up what's there to be seen. And the emotions that are within us wherever our physical body is tight or paining, weak, etc., is where the emotions are being held, and our emotions are our connection to our divine timing of our soul path. And there's plenty more in my book if you're interested. So again, if you need name dropping, and again, I don't like even doing it because, again, it's ego-based stuff. The Mary Magdalene energy, though, I can see why I'm drawn to roses and whatnot. And again, as you can see, it's not even just for women now. Men are craving to feel their emotions. And I've seen the men find the power behind shifting the emotions, the clarity, but also, shifting and changing the physical body for good, for health. Just having a look here. What else I've said? Yeah, so then with this book, I find a lot of people who channel in what I call the New Age spiritual world. You could say I channeled my book, but I don't like to use that word because to me it's not of the new way. It's this kind of, I've channeled it. So there must be something amazing to this. And again, it's using a bit of that word channel to make it seem like, there's, I don't know, again, that kind of energy. But with people who channel, what I find the language comes through is, and it has happened in this book, it's very much you humans. You humans are obsessed with, eating yourself silly. You humans are sinning when you do this. You humans can't get your head around this. You humans don't understand. And when I started to connect more in with my feelings, I started to not like the taste in my mouth. I'm like, you're making me feel bad. I'm not liking this. It's very much a judgmental energy on being human. And so when I sat with it, I'm like, there's nothing wrong with being human. We're here, we're doing it. And a lot of people have found peace in that when I've said that to them, like, no, we are being human. Why are we listening to ascended being who's not here doing it in reality? Now, in saying that, that's why I have written my book, I'm going to say written it purposefully with, we are mothers who are having trouble with, because, and I've gone to the nth degree to see why are we having our struggles and our challenges. Rightly so we are. There's so many factors that we've been placed in that's why it's happening, not that we are at fault or we are doing something wrong. And so hence I've got, more books that need to be written to explain all of this so people can settle back in the beauty and the imperfection of being human, the light and the dark, and to see that we can't just change my thoughts and I'm going to go over here. It's actually, I need to honor the unraveling. My emotions are coming up in divine timing. They are coming out of my physical body in a divine path, like a piece of rope. I can't hurry anything because we are here to play out storylines in this world. You can't just shift it to the perfect. That is judgment and New Age spiritual ego, I'm going to call it. So when we take the time to go, okay, well, here I am and here I'm feeling and I'm going to feel through this and then the next thing, that's how I've come to what we're actually here for, our soul agreement, to embody all the different themes that we hear playing out right now. Mothers who are exhausted, men who are burning the candle working, children who are still not being seen for the wise beings that they are, and then all the other experiences that we are having, they are important to experience and feel through and embody. So the New Ways work is far more about embodying what's going on than trying to slip away and trying to get back to the stars. I think that's pretty much everything that needs to get said on this. I'm just having a quick look at all the things I wrote. And it's not to judge either way, because there will still be families that are playing it out, let's change our thoughts. Oh, that's the last thing. But as I'm saying, most families that are coming to me have agreed, I don't have years like Jesus did and like, Tibetan monks do, to go to Tibet and to learn these practices. I don't have the space to do that while my family is hitting me with all the challenges. And so instead, I see this work of the new way to be doing it in your day-to-day life is the highest of work, because you are having to go within, face the fear of feeling. That's the biggest fear, that's the only fear that's out there, the fear of feeling, and also then try and deal with the challenges at the same time. We are not being given enough luxury. A 2-day, 7-day retreat doesn't enlighten you enough. Like let's say Jesus, etc. You need years off in the bush somewhere. That's not happening, and there's a very good reason for it, because as us women go into the feminine, the Mary Magdalene energy, if we need to say it, as we start to claim this energy, we are inviting the feminine in our men, which they are starting to step in this way, and we are showing this work is good and right to our children. We're showing the family. We are there going to, go and talk to our friends day to day about our progress with this. If you go off for 2 years, you come back, and it's exactly what Jesus said. They didn't really know, they could see he'd changed immensely, but they didn't really know what he'd gone through. And so it was a big jump. So remember, when you're going through the challenges in your day-to-day life and you're doing any kind of inner work, it's the highest of work, even if you do the smallest of things, because we have said we will do it this way because of all the factors, and to remember interconnectedness. We're not one person just mastering ourselves. I have an effect on someone else. My children are here to learn off me, because heck, the school and society, even the new age world, is not coming into this nearly enough. So it's important to be coming back to yourself and in your day-to-day challenges. And that may be enough to bring up the tantrums in itself. You're like, this is hard, it's impossible, I'm exhausted, and all of that. And it is. That's exactly what we're needing to let go of so that we can re-find ourselves. We need to have the crumbling down so that we can then recreate ourselves, the resurrection, that kind of thing, from our true self. And that's what I have been doing for the last 11 years or so. I've totally broken myself down to the point where I'm at now going, oh yeah, I can feel myself coming up the other way. But as I've broken myself down, that was the process to starting to getting the downloads and the clarity and the answers and the inner peace coming, and my family starting to change. You don't have to do it to the nth degree for years before you start to see, as mums will say, I sat down, I had a big cry, and then my child, who had been ratty, came to me and said, Mummy, I love you, or whatever. Heart connection was straight there, and there we go, beautiful change straight away. So lastly, I will just say, really question what you're listening to and what you're taking in from anyone, including me. Everyone needs to come back to being more centered and feeling whether everything resonates with them. And then looking at, well, why doesn't this work for me? So many people are talking positive talk, etc. But they've got such big family issues, or they're dealing in their health issues because their physical body or their outer world is saying, point of truth here, it's not working. So don't keep doing something that's not working. Most people end up at the new way because they've tried everything and they've been discerning enough to realize it's not working. So yes, Jesus, my Autobiography by Louise Spalding. I'll put it in the comments below. And here is my book, The Game of Life, How to Play the New Way. I'm going to read the back paragraph on this book about Jesus. This story will begin the change. It will not make the change. It will facilitate turning the key in the lock, but you must open the door and walk through it into a new realm that is opened by this information. That is your responsibility. And I'm going to show you the front cover of my book. This is what I chose, basically the walking inwards. I also did look at a key lock thing to put on there, but I chose the arch. And to me, just bringing it back together, these two are important. It's all about coming inwards so that you can change your world and realizing how much energy we give the external world, the allied health system, the medical system, the schooling system, biomedical system, the new age spiritual world. There's so many that we need to stop all of that and come back to feeling and sensing within. Love to you all. Please pass this on to anyone that you feel might resonate, anyone who's talking about Jesus, etc. Anyone who is ready to start to take these messages in, please do. It's your responsibility, I guess, is what I'm saying, even with the new way, is to take it and make it yours and claim the importance in this and doing what you can with it. Bye. Trying to stop it.